What's going on, guys? My name is Sovraka and I'm here to show you guys a no food boss guide for Zeliana. I did put one out a little while ago, but I'm not really satisfied with how it turned out, so I'm going to be redoing it. I just want to say before we continue that this is a no food boss guide for higher level PVMers, but lower level PVMers can follow this guide if they'd like to learn how to do Saradomin, because you probably won't be able to no food this boss. Actually, I can probably guarantee you won't be able to no food this boss until you have better gear like you can see me having here. But it is a good guideline for you to follow. If you've never fought Saradomin before, you might need a little bit of pointers on how to do it, and I'm going to show you how to do some of the best DPS using dual wield melee. So anyways, to get started, I'm just going to go over my equipment really quick. As you can see, I'm using Superior Tetsu because that is what I have. You can use regular Tetsu if that's all you own. Also, you can probably use full Bandos if you can't afford Tetsu or if you can't make the superior Tetsu version. Otherwise, you could probably just bring Barros armor if that's all you can really afford. But really, I'd recommend having at least 80 attack so that you can use chaotic rapiers or chaotic longswords. Because like I said, this guide is going to focus on dual wield melee because I think that's probably one of the best ways to fight Zeliana. However, that's just my opinion. For your necklace slot, you can bring the best DPS necklace that you want. Otherwise, you can bring a Demon Horn necklace or the tier version right under that, as well as a Bone Crusher if you do want to save a little bit of money on some prayer potions. But other than that, for your glove slot and your boot slot, that's really up to personal preference. I'm bringing pneumatic gloves and steadfast boots because those are the best tanking boots and gloves that I can use. Although you can just bring Bandos or you can just bring Torva if that's what you have. If you do have Torva, then it will help protect you from the God Wars dungeon minions. For your ring slot, you could bring the best DPS ring you have. I'm just going to bring a Warrior's ring because that's all I have. But you can swap this out for a Ring of Wealth if you do want a very slight increase of a chance on getting a drop. The most important part of this guide is definitely going to be the Vampirism Aura, as well as a Vampirism Scrimshaw. I have the superior version just because I like to make my own, but you can buy one for 1.3 mil off the GE. So yeah, it's quite nice if you can make your own. Lastly, for the cape slot, I do have my melee kiln cape, but you can bring a skill cape if you have that. Otherwise, just bring the best cape that you can use. And moving on to an inventory setup, I'd bring overloads if you have them. Otherwise, you could bring a super attack, super strength, and super defense potion because they will help quite significantly. As well, remember to bring a prayer renewal flask. As you can see, I'm using holy overloads, which is a combination of an overload and a prayer renewal, so it just helps me save a couple inventory spaces. But like I said, just bring the best potions you have, and don't forget 2 prayer renewals at least, if you want to last an hour, that is. You will want some prayer potions. Prayer flasks are a little bit less expensive than super restore flasks by about 1.5k, I believe, so I like to bring some prayer flasks just to save myself a little bit of money. But if you are bringing a Beast of Burden, then I would recommend bringing at least 1 super restore potion so that you can renew your summoning points, so that you can renew your familiar if you don't have a pack yak, or if you do, because you know pack yaks last an hour, but if you summon them when you're at the bank and then you go get your KC, you are going to need to renew it at least once in the middle of a fight if you are going to last an hour or more. I will be bringing a spring cleaner, but if you don't have one of these, then you can just bring alk runes. As you can see, I do have my spring cleaner here set to dismantle metal armor from rune and adamant because she does drop a fair amount of that as well. I don't think she drops some metal weapons, but you know, just set this up for some of the best tier stuff. Obviously, I'll be using Winter Storage Scrolls because I'll be bringing a pack yak just to send some stuff to the bank. But if you don't have a pack yak, then you can just buy some magic note paper off the GE if you do want to note her drops, which will consist of mostly prayer potions and super restore potions, and I think some super potions as well, being like magic potions. She'll drop 3 at a time, and it will add to your bank if you do pick them up and note them, or if you do pick them up and send them to the bank with a pack yak. Lastly, I should mention that if you do want God Wars Dungeon Protection, then you can bring a Shard of Zeros, and if you have a pack yak, you can just send that to the bank after you get your kill count. Otherwise, the only 2 minions in Saradomin's encampment are Saradomin creatures as well as Zamorak creatures, so if you want, you could bring, let's say for example, Saradomin Warpriest gloves and Zamorak Warpriest boots, or just something along that line, or you could just bring Zamorak arrows and use a Saradomin necklace. For example, you could bring a Whisper because that is the Saradomin necklace for melee. This is the upgraded version, obviously, but yes, that will provide protection from all the God Wars dungeon creatures in that area. And actually, one last thing that will help you quite a lot to speed up kills is to have blood tendrils. If you don't know how to get those, you will get them at the end of the dig site quest. All you have to do is just talk to the archaeological expert and he will give them to you. Oh yeah, and it's probably worth mentioning that you should bring at least a little bit of food, because I know this is a no food boss guide, but it's always just safe to have a little bit of food on hand. And don't forget to bring at least 200k coins if you do want to start an instance, which is what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do. Otherwise, if you just want to camp her without an instance, then you don't have to worry about bringing any coins at all. Lastly, I will go over the quick curses. As you can see, I am using Turmoil, Soul Split, and Protect Item, because you never know, if you DC, it's always nice to have Protect Item on. But other than that, if you do not have the level requirement to use Turmoil or Soul Split, then you can just use the best offensive prayer that you have, which is going to be Piety on the regular spell book, or not the regular spell book, but the regular prayer book, as well as using Protect from Magic, because that will help you survive a little bit longer, because she will wreck you using her magic attacks if you are using melee, which this guide is geared towards. So after you've got your equipment set up and your inventory all set up, then, well, go ahead and get your kill count, and I'll see you guys in a couple seconds after I get mine, and I'll show you how to adrenaline stall while you get into Saradomin's kind of the boss room. And yeah, we'll start off with full adrenaline to make the kills quite easier. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a sec. Also, shout out to this sexy beast. Well guys, like an idiot, I managed to forget to set my spawn timer on the instance for fastest. But as you can see here, I use my Zamorak arrows and the Saradomin's Whisper to not adrenaline stall, but to have protection. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm just going to go ahead and send that back to the bank using my yak, and then we're going to start the instance. So I'd most recommend having a full adrenaline so that you can go in and do the most DPS at the start. So what I'm going to go do now is, with full adrenaline, go ahead and adrenaline stall using anticipation, and then I'm going to open the door, hit 2, and then I'm going to set this to fastest, and then I'm going to start the instance. Now what I'm going to do while I'm inside here is I'm going to continue adrenaline stalling by using freedom, and then go ahead and activate your aura, activate your scrimshaw, go ahead and, oops, well, you got to right click that to activate it apparently. Continue adrenaline stalling, but go ahead and activate that, and then pot up, and then activate your crit curses. Make sure you have destroy set to ability Q, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So first thing, you're going to want to open up with destroy, and then after that use slaughter, and then run under Ziliana so that you will force her to move. Then I'll use my blood tendrils, and that will get the most DPS. Then go ahead and activate assault, and that will do quite a fair amount of damage to her, and then just let Revolution do its thing until you can use destroy again. And then after that point, she should be fairly close to dying. And then what you can do once she is dead is you can go ahead and run over to the melee minion, and then go ahead and use your flurry ability. If you are quick enough to kill all the minions before Ziliana does spawn back, then you can use the ulti to recharge your prayer, but for now I'm just going to drink a potion flask, and I'll show you the technique once again as soon as Ziliana spawns back. So make sure you have your quick curses ready, destroy at the Q, and then go ahead and use that on Ziliana. Remember to click underneath her, and then when destroy is done, use slaughter, run underneath her, use your blood tendrils, and then go ahead and use this assault rather, and that will do quite a fair amount of damage, as you can see here. Then I use my sever ability and let Revolution do its thing, and then I'll just walk over to one of the minions here, and then I'll use my flurry ability so that it will be attacking her, Starlight and Growler here, as you can see, which will help you have a little bit of time in between kills so that you can use the altar to pray and restore your prayer. But anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and finish off the minions here, and in between kills you can turn off your prayers if you'd like. I usually do, just to save a little bit. I'll show you guys just one more time how I do the kill, just so that you guys really have it drilled into your head how easy it is to fight Ziliana. So as soon as she spawns, go ahead and use destroy on her. Try not to misclick as much as I do here. And then when you go ahead and use slaughter, you can go ahead and run over here, and then I'll use my blood tendrils to run back over there, and then I'll use sever, and then I'll go ahead and use assault. And then once that's done, I will have almost enough adrenaline to use flurry, so I'll use a basic ability, and then use flurry, and that'll incorporate that into the kill, making these minions a little bit easier to kill during the Siliana kill. Yeah, I don't know how to word that quite well. But anyways, yes, remember to use destroy as soon as it's off cooldown, and then remember to kill her as quick as you can. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, anyways, that's going to be it for the guide. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys get a lot of good luck with your drops and get a lot of hilts. And yes, thank you for watching. And until next time, take care, everyone. See ya.